Have you ever, gotten really excited about a padlock?
No, probably not. But get ready to have your mind blown because today we're diving deep, and I mean deep, into something truly ingenious. Carbine's Dual Entry Padlock.
Well, this is a good one.
We're not just going to talk about how it works, we're going to explore why this seemingly simple device is actually a clever solution to a surprisingly common problem.
Right, because it's not just about keeping things locked up, is it?
Exactly. And don't worry, we've got all the juicy specs and insights into high security design too. So picture this. You've got a shared space, maybe an electrical cabinet, a storage locker, even just the back gate to your property.
Okay, I'm following.
Two different people need access at different times, but you don't want to compromise security, giving everyone the same key. Not ideal.
Definitely not. So what's the solution?
Well, this is where Carbine really shines.
They've tackled this problem head-on with the dual entry padlock. Two separate keying systems, all built into a single, seriously robust padlock.
It's like having your cake and eating it too. Ultimate security without having to sacrifice accessibility. And speaking of security, this thing is a tank. The specs on this padlock are seriously impressive. A 64.5 millimeter hardened steel body, an equally tough 8 millimeter shackle. This isn't some flimsy thing you'd pick up at the local hardware store. This padlock means business.
Yeah, they don't mess around.
And get this, the key itself is a security feature. It's retained, meaning you can only take it out when the padlock is fully locked. It prevents any, accidental mishaps.
Ah, that key retained feature. It's a small detail, but it makes a world of difference. Carbine really understands real-world security concerns.
Right, sometimes it's the little things.
Absolutely. And we can't forget about the materials. Carbine hasn't cut any corners. 6061 aluminum for the body. So incredibly strong and weather-resistant, and then hardened steel for the components that really matter. This padlock is built to last.
It's going to outlive all of us, probably. Oh, it's interesting. Carbine is an Australian company.
Is that right?
Yeah, that little Made in Australia tag got me thinking, what do we actually know about Carbine as a company?
It's not just some random detail. Carbine actually works directly with locksmiths when they design their products.
Oh, wow. So they're getting real-world feedback from the people who actually use and install these locks every single day.
Exactly. And that really tells me they're committed to practicality, durability, and actually understanding the needs of their customers.
And it's not just this padlock. They have a whole range of products, from door closers to those sophisticated electronic locking systems.
Yeah.
A whole security ecosystem. They're really doing it all. But you know what? Let's shift gears a little bit here. Let's talk about what this dual entry padlock really represents, on a larger scale.
Okay, I like where you're going with this.
Because it's not just about a padlock, right? It feels like we're getting a glimpse into the future of security and access control.
You're hitting the nail on the head there. This padlock is a perfect example of how we're approaching security differently these days.
It's evolving.
Exactly. We're moving away from that old idea of lock everything up tight
Yeah.
and moving towards, well, a much more thought-out system, controlled access.
Right. It's not one size fits all.
Exactly. Instead of just keeping everyone out, now we can grant access to the right people at the right times and for the right reasons. It's like a personalized security setup.
Instead of a moat around a castle, it's a modern city. You've got your public areas, then more private zones, and finally those super secure areas all in the same system.
That's a fantastic analogy. And the dual entry padlock really brings those access levels down to earth. Makes it real, It's not some abstract idea anymore.
It's a tangible solution. It makes you think, though. What other everyday things could we reimagine with this dual access idea? What other industries could really benefit from this kind of flexible security?
The possibilities are huge.
Yeah.
Think about anything requiring shared access.
Yeah.
Utilities, property management at data centers, even something as simple as a shared storage facility.
Oh, that reminds me. What about those utility boxes you see on every street? The ones with a zillion padlocks on them.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean.
Imagine if they used these dual entry padlocks.
Streamlining things, not only boosting security, but making maintenance and access so much easier for everyone.
So much simpler. So for our listeners out there thinking, okay, this is all very cool, but what does it mean for me? Why should they care about a padlock with two keyholes? It's like, finding the right key for the right lock, or in this case, the right two locks. It's adaptable security, right?
Yeah, it's not a one-size-fits-all situation anymore. This dual entry padlock, it really shows how we can have strong security and accessibility at the same time.
It really makes you think differently about security these days. It's not about those impenetrable walls anymore, is it?
Not at all.
It's about designing systems that are both secure and adaptable to the people and the situations they're meant to protect.
And that's such an important point. Understanding that security isn't about keeping everyone out. It's about letting the right people in.
Exactly. So for everyone listening, here's something to think about. Where else in your life, in your work, could you use this idea of split access? Where could you give specific permissions without, compromising everything?
That's a good question.
It's worth thinking about. And who knows, maybe our little deep dive into the world of padlocks has given you an idea for a more secure and accessible future. Until next time.